I'll always say yes to more Batman. Live action, animated, give it to me. The Caped Crusader series is developed by Bruce Timm and produced by Bad Robots Productions. It stars Hamish Linklater as Bruce Wayne Batman, Jason Watkins as Alfred Pennyworth, Eric Morgan Stewart as Gordon, and Crystal Joy Brown as Barbara Gordon. It follows the adventures of Batman as he tries to stop numerous foes with the help of Alfred, Jim, and Barbara Gordon. Batman is my favorite superhero comic book character of all time. I just love him to death. I love his stories. I love his movies. And I've seen a lot of the Batman animated series and a lot of Batman Beyond. I haven't seen all of them, but I like both. I think that both are really good and they're really well made. And I think that Batman Beyond can be commended in like doing something different with the character. It's really great. And I was excited going into the Caped Crusader because I felt like it was time maybe to update the animated series and or to do something different with it. I know like this isn't a continuation of the animated series. This is more of like a standalone. And I have some pros and cons. I enjoyed this series for the most part. I think that the animation is pretty well done, and I like some of the episodes of this show. I do think there are some problems though. I don't think that this show is perfect. I think that there are some flaws, and I think that there could be some improvement if they ever do a second season. I'll start off with the pros. I think that the voice acting is really great here by everyone. Hamish Linklater is really great here as Batman. He isn't quite Kevin Conroy, but it's almost impossible to be Kevin Conroy because he's like one of the best Batman's voices ever. And so here, Hamish Linklater, he does his own impersonation of Batman, and I like him in the role. I think that he's very good. I think that Batman here is really well done, and the rest of the voice cast is great too. I mean, Jason Watkins, Eric Morgan Stewart, and Crystal Joy Brown all do a terrific job here. They really are great as their respective characters. And I like all of these. I think that Jim Gordon, Barbara Gordon, and Alfred Pennyworth are really well done here. I think that they could use a little more characterization, but overall I think that they're the best part of the series with Batman. And even though we don't see a lot of him in this series, I would have liked focused more on Batman to have him like front and center, because not having him here enough I think is kind of like a problem. It still has its name like front and center, and when you don't like deliver on that aspect and giving us like enough Batman, I think that's a problem. And also, I think that the episodes are too short. I think they're like 25 minutes long, and they could have really benefited maybe for like even 5 more minutes of screen time, and you could have developed certain things. And I just think that sometimes the episodes are too short. I think that the heroes here are done pretty well. My problem here with this series is the villains. I think that the villains are really done poorly, especially the villains that we already know. The villains that we already know are changed here, and I don't understand why they're changed. It's almost like they're just changed for the sake of it, and I don't see really the story reason behind their change. Like for example, Penguin here is a woman, and I just don't like when there are character gender swaps in my comic book adaptations. I just don't like it. I never liked it in Marvel or in DC, and I don't like it here. And I just think that it's useless. You could have just made her a crime boss and not the Penguin. I just don't understand why she had to be the Penguin. There's nothing there that screams at me Penguin. And I think that her character is sort of bland and really forgettable. And the same is done with Harley Quinn and Two-Face. Their past is changed. And also Catwoman. I think that Catwoman also is a big one where her past is changed, and she's kind of different from the comic books. And Two-Face, I think, is really bad here in this show. I didn't like the character of Two-Face at all. I also don't like the way he looks. I think that the way he looks is really terrible compared to to the animated series, like the original animated series, this Two-Face looks really bad. I just don't like the look of him, and I just didn't like the character. The Catwoman character I thought was fine, but she just really didn't jump at me as just an amazing character, as well as Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn, they changed her backstory here once again, and I just don't understand it. I don't understand why you would change a lot of the backstories when you have great, amazing source material. It just doesn't make sense to me. Now, the villains that they do like come up with, like they sort of invent here for this animated series, I think they work. I'm not gonna like spoil any of them. I don't want you to know about the new villains here, but I like a lot of them, and I think that they worked in this show a lot more than the villains that we previously know from the actual source material. The animation style, I said, is pretty good. I think that sometimes the show could have been improved, because I don't think that like the faces, they show a lot of emotion. They don't emote a lot of emotion when you're like staring at them. Like they sort of just have the same expression all the time. I think that the animation is a bit stilted. It's a bit stoic. I know like it's in the same style as the animated series, but I think that we're in a different era now. I would appreciate like better animation, especially with the faces. I think that the faces here is my main problem, the expressions of the characters. I think that like the entire look of the series is great. I think that the setting and the city is really well done. I like the noir aspect of the show as well. I think the noir aspect is really good. I think that there are some episodes better than others here. I liked some of them. My favorites are in the middle part of the show. So one of my favorites is Night Ride, when Batman faces like this sort of supernatural entity. And I really like that episode. I thought that might just be my favorite episode of the season. And I really like the episode Moving Target. I like the episode where there's a hit on Jim Gordon and Barbara wants to get him to safety, to a safe house. I thought that episode was really well done. And I liked also Nurture a lot. They go to this like carnival and a lot of children go missing. That episode I thought really worked. Like I said, I like the episodes where they don't focus on the villains that we know, and they like sort of come up with different villains. I think those episodes work better. And I just didn't really like the episodes where they focused on Two-Face. So overall, I thought that the Cape Crusader had pros and cons. It definitely, for me, has more cons than pros, but I enjoyed this series overall. I think that it's a weak first season, but it can be improved on the second season of the series. I would probably give the series like a B+. I didn't love this show. I was expecting to love it, but I didn't, unfortunately. I thought that the characterization of Batman was really well done, even though we don't see a lot of him. But I thought that they missed a lot on the villains aspect, especially the ones that we know. And I thought that episodes were too short, and I didn't really like some of the storytelling decisions here. It's okay to change certain aspects, but to change completely the characters that we know and love and that like have comics history, I think that that's just really strange, and I don't think that it works here in this show, unfortunately. Like let's say in the new Batman movie from Robert Pattinson, they changed some things. They changed his backstory with the Waynes, but I think that they changed like minimal things. They don't like change completely who Batman is, or they don't change completely who the Riddler is or Catwoman is. They change certainly some things, but not like everything, not like their entire past. And I think that you have to be careful when you're treading on known comic book properties like this. You have to be careful of what you change and what you don't change, and if it's the correct story decisions. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Batman the Cape Crusader. Like I said, I didn't love it, I didn't hate it. I thought it was just okay, an okay first season. Hopefully the second season improves. And so yeah, please let me know what you thought of the series. Please like, please subscribe. See you next time. Peace.